Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a deep dive into the intricate tapestry of political ideologies, where beliefs collide and ideologies shape the destiny of nations. Today, we embark on a journey of understanding as we unravel the complexities of 10 controversial political ideologies that have left indelible marks on history and continue to influence the course of our world. Anarchism. Word origin. The word anarchism comes from the Greek words an, meaning without, and archos, meaning ruler or authority. It emerged in the 19th century as a political philosophy advocating for the abolition of all forms of hierarchical authority, including government. Origin. Anarchist ideas can be traced back to ancient times, but modern anarchism emerged as a distinct ideology in the 19th century, particularly with the writings of Pierre-Joseph Proudhon and Mikhail Bakunin. In the realm of anarchism, we encounter a fervent rejection of centralized authority and hierarchical structures. Advocates of this ideology envision a society free from government coercion, where individuals govern themselves through voluntary associations. Yet, amidst the allure of unbridled freedom lies the challenge of maintaining order and security in the absence of a governing body. In simple terms, anarchism is about getting rid of rulers and letting people organize themselves. Instead of having a government telling everyone what to do, people would work together in small groups to make decisions. Fascism. Word origin. The term fascism originates from the Latin word fasces, which refers to a bundle of rods with an axe, symbolizing authority. Fascism as an ideology emerged in Italy in the early 20th century under Benito Mussolini. Origin. Fascism gained prominence in the aftermath of World War I as a response to perceived threats to traditional values and national identity. Mussolini's National Fascist Party, founded in 1919, became the archetype of fascist movements. Fascism emerges as a dark shadow on the political landscape, characterized by authoritarianism, ultranationalism, and the suppression of dissent. Proponents of fascism exalt the supremacy of the state and the subjugation of individual rights in service to a singular national identity. However, the pursuit of unity often leads to the erosion of civil liberties and the scapegoating of marginalized groups. In simple terms, fascism is like giving all the power to one leader and the government. They control everything and don't allow people to disagree with them. They also believe that one group of people is better than others and should be in charge. Communism. Word origin. The term communism is derived from the Latin word communis, meaning common or universal. It emerged in the mid-19th century to describe the socio-economic system advocated by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Origin. The ideas of communism developed within the context of the Industrial Revolution and the rise of capitalism. Marx and Engels outlined their communist principles in the Communist Manifesto, 1848, which called for the abolition of private property and the establishment of a classless society. Communism beckons with promises of equality and collective ownership of resources, envisioning a society where wealth is shared and class distinctions vanish. Yet, the path to this utopian vision has been marred by authoritarian regimes, economic stagnation, and human rights abuses. The tension between centralized control and individual freedom remains a central paradox of communist ideology. In simple terms, communism. Communism is about everyone sharing everything equally. The government owns everything, like factories and farms, and gives people what they need. But sometimes, this means the government has a lot of control over people's lives. Nationalism. Word origin. The word nationalism is derived from the Latin word natio, meaning birth or race. It gained prominence in the late 18th and 19th centuries during the era of nation-state formation. Origin. Nationalism emerged as a political and cultural movement in Europe, fueled by sentiments of identity, loyalty, and belonging to a particular nation. It played a significant role in the rise of modern nation-states and the consolidation of political power. Nationalism stirs the passions of hearts and minds, celebrating the identity and aspirations of a particular nation. However, the fervor of national pride often spills over into xenophobia, imperialism, and conflict with perceived outsiders. The quest for self-determination can morph into exclusionary policies and the suppression of minority rights. In simple terms, nationalism is about being really proud of your country and putting it above everything else. People who are nationalists often think their country is better than others and should always come first. Libertarianism. Word origin. The term libertarianism is derived from the Latin word liber, meaning free. It originated in the 17th century as a political philosophy advocating for individual liberty and limited government intervention. Origin. Libertarian ideas trace back to classical liberal thinkers such as John Locke and Adam Smith. Modern libertarianism gained prominence in the 20th century, particularly in the United States, with the emergence of movements advocating for free markets and minimal government. Libertarianism champions individual liberty and limited government intervention, placing utmost faith in free markets and personal responsibility. Yet, the pursuit of freedom unfettered by regulation can lead to stark inequalities and the neglect of societal welfare. The tension between individual autonomy and collective well-being lies at the heart of libertarian ideology. In simple terms, libertarianism is all about freedom. People who follow this ideology think that the government should stay out of people's lives as much as possible. They believe in things like minimal taxes and fewer rules for businesses. Theocratic ideologies. Word origin. The word theocracy comes from the Greek words theos, meaning God, and kratos, meaning rule or power. It originated in ancient civilizations where religious leaders held political authority. Origin. Theocratic ideologies have existed throughout history in various forms, with rulers claiming divine authority to govern. Examples include ancient Egyptian pharaohs, theocratic states in medieval Europe, and contemporary Islamic republics. Theocratic ideologies blend religious doctrine with political governance, seeking to establish divine law as the foundation of society. However, the intertwining of religion and state often results in the imposition of dogma, the curtailment of secular freedoms, and the persecution of dissenting voices. Theocratic ideologies mix religion with government. They believe that religious leaders should make the rules, and everyone should follow the teachings of their faith. Colonialism, imperialism. Word origin. Colonialism derives from the Latin word colonia, meaning colony or settlement, while imperialism originates from the Latin word imperium, meaning power or authority. Origin. Colonialism and imperialism have roots in ancient civilizations, but they became prominent during the Age of Exploration and European expansion from the 15th century onward. European powers established colonies to exploit resources, expand territories, and exert political control. Colonialism and imperialism epitomize the pursuit of power and dominance, as empires expand their territories through conquest and exploitation. Yet, beneath the veneer of civilization lies the brutal subjugation of indigenous peoples, the plundering of resources, and the imposition of cultural hegemony. In simple terms, colonialism and imperialism are like one country taking over another country. They might do this to get resources or to spread their culture and beliefs, but it often leads to the people being taken over losing their rights and freedoms. Neo-Nazism. Word origin. Neo-Nazism combines neo, meaning new, with Nazism, referring to the ideology of Adolf Hitler's National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP. Origin: Neo-Nazism emerged after World War II as a revival of Nazi ideology, promoting white supremacy, anti-Semitism, and authoritarianism. It gained traction among extremist groups seeking to perpetuate Nazi beliefs and symbols. The resurgence of neo-Nazism resurrects the specter of fascism with its virulent blend of racial supremacy, anti-Semitism, and authoritarianism. Advocates of this ideology seek to revive the oppressive regimes of the past, perpetuating hatred and division in pursuit of a warped vision of purity and dominance. In simple terms, neo-Nazism is a modern version of an old ideology called Nazism. It's about believing that one group of people is better than others, especially based on things like race or nationality. They want a government that controls everything and gets rid of people they don't like. Militant extremism. Word origin. Militant refers to engaging in warfare or combat, while extremism denotes holding extreme political or ideological views. Origin. Militant extremism can arise from various ideological motivations, including religious, political, or environmental beliefs. Groups advocating militant extremism often resort to violence and terrorism to achieve their objectives. Militant extremism encompasses a spectrum of ideologies that resort to violence and terrorism to achieve political goals. Whether motivated by religious fervor, racial animus, or ecological concerns, extremist groups pose a grave threat to peace and stability, sowing fear and destruction in their wake. In simple terms, militant extremism is when people use violence and terrorism to make political changes. They might believe in things like overthrowing a government or starting a religious war to achieve their goals. Secessionism. Word origin. Secessionism comes from the Latin word secessio, meaning withdrawal or separation. Origin. Secessionist movements have occurred throughout history, with groups seeking to break away from larger political entities for reasons such as cultural autonomy, ethnic identity, or political grievances. Examples include the American Civil War and contemporary separatist movements around the world. Secessionism challenges the unity of nations, as regions seek to break away and assert their independence. While driven by aspirations for self-rule and cultural autonomy, secessionist movements often provoke conflict over territorial integrity and minority rights, fracturing societies along ethnic and ideological lines. In simple terms, secessionism is when a part of a country wants to break away and become its own separate country. They might do this because they feel they have different cultures, languages, or beliefs from the rest of the country. As we conclude our exploration of these controversial political ideologies, we are reminded of the profound impact of ideas on the course of human history. In a world rife with conflict and division, understanding the nuances of these ideologies becomes paramount to fostering dialogue, promoting tolerance, and forging a path toward a more just and equitable society. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. Let us know what you think about these ideologies. Your opinions are appreciated. Do let us know what other topics or ideologies you want us to cover. Like and subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications to be notified when we upload more interesting content.